4 men destroyed a perfectly sane man, using nothing but words. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Chapter 5. Do not cry over spilt milk. Some people believe that the traits they have been nurtured on, which they are recognized by, and which have left a certain impression about them on the minds of others, can never be changed. They surrender to this thought, just as a person would surrender to the fact that he cannot change his height or skin color. On the other hand, an intelligent person thinks that to change one's nature can perhaps be easier than changing his clothes. Our nature is not like spilt milk that cannot be scooped up again. Rather, we are always in control of it, and there are certain ways in which we can alter it, and even the way we think. Ibn Hazm mentions in his work, Talk al-Hamamah, a tale of a famous Spanish businessman. There was competition between him and 4 other businessmen, and as a result, they disliked him. They were therefore determined to aggravate him. One morning he left his house to go to his workplace, wearing a white shirt and turban. One of the 4 businessmen met him on the way. He greeted the Spanish businessman, looked at his turban, and said, "How beautiful this yellow turban is." The businessman said, "Are you blind? This turban is white." He replied, "No, it is yellow. It is yellow, but it looks good." The businessman left him and moved on until he met the second of them. He greeted him, then looked at his turban and said, "You look handsome today. Your clothes look fine, especially this green turban." The businessman said, "Actually, the turban is white." "No, it is green," he insisted. He replied, "It is white. Go away from me." The businessman walked on, talking to himself, and every now and then looking at the flank of his turban to make sure that it was indeed white. He reached his shop and opened up the lock. Meanwhile, there came to him the third of the 4 businessmen and said, "How beautiful this morning is, and especially your clothes. They look fine, and your beautiful blue turban only adds to your good looks." The businessman looked at his turban to ascertain its color, then rubbed his eyes and said, "Dear brother, my turban is white. No, it is blue. But the important thing is that it looks good, so don't worry." The man said, and left as the businessman began to yell after him, saying, "The turban is white." As he looked at his turban to ascertain its color once again, he sat in his shop for a while and couldn't take his eyes off his turban. Meanwhile, the 4th person came and said, "Greetings, Masha'Allah. From where did you buy this red turban?" The businessman shouted, "My turban is blue." He replied, "No, it is red." The businessman said, "No, it is green. Actually, no, it is white. No, it is blue or black." He then laughed out loud, then screamed, then began to cry, and then started to jump up and down. Ibn Hazm said, "Thereafter, I would see him in the streets of Spain. He had gone mad and children would pelt stones at him." If these 4 people, by using their skills, were able to change not only the nature of the person but also his mind, then how about the tried and tested skills that are supported by revelation, which a person can put into practice in order to become closer to Allah? Put into practice whatever good skills you come across, and you will be happy. If you say to me, "I cannot," I would say to you, "At least try." If you say to me, "I don't know how," I would say, "Yes, you do." The Prophet said, "Knowledge is only gained through learning, and clemency is only gained through perseverance." A point of view, the hero is the one who goes beyond his ability to improve his skills, until he becomes able to improve, and perhaps even alter, the skills of others. This chapter opened with a story that genuinely disturbed me, and I think it was meant to. A successful, stable, well-respected businessman, and 4 people around him, persistently, repeatedly, deliberately, convinced him he was insane, until he believed it, until he became it. That is the power of consistent influence. And if negative words repeated over time can break a sound mind, imagine what positive, intentional effort supported by faith can build. The author makes a point in this chapter that I want you to really sit with. Your character is not spilt milk. It is not gone forever. It is not fixed. As the scholars have said, knowledge is only gained through learning, and clemency is only gained through perseverance. Meaning the qualities you admire in others are not gifts they were born with. They were built deliberately, over time. And Allah tells us in Surah Ash-Shams, He has succeeded who purifies the soul, and He has failed who instills it with corruption. Success and failure are not destinations we arrive at. They are directions we choose every single day. So here is the question this chapter leaves me with. What voice have you been listening to repeatedly? And is it building you or slowly convincing you that you cannot change? Because you can. That is not a motivational phrase. That is a promise embedded in the very purpose of your creation. May Allah grant us the sincerity and strength to continuously improve our character and never allow us to despair of the mercy and transformative power of Allah. Ameen.